Here at the Georgia Dome, the Atlanta Falcons have won the toss and will receive, and a very interesting turn of events so far in this young season. The Falcons offense scored a touchdown in all 3 weeks. They're the only team to do that. And on the opposite side of the coin, the Panthers defense have allowed a touchdown in all 3 games.
And Ron Rivera said they worked on that this week. They did it over and over. He said it comes down to more than anything third down. They did extra third down periods, extra emphasis on it. We'll see if it helps today.
So Matt Ryan will get the ball first, and the opening drive touchdowns have looked like this.
Well, you saw week 1, Matt Ryan to Julio Jones, an excellent emerging star. A short field against the Denver Broncos. Only 7 yards did they have to go. And finally last week, looks like Maurice Jones-Drew to me. That's Jacquizz Rodgers on the screen pass. He's becoming more a part of that offense. Efficient early. Great starts for the Atlanta Falcons.
And you brought out a good point about Mike Smith and Matt Ryan. They have been winners since they have been here in Atlanta.
They have, and I think that's the thing you have to be careful. Everyone says these guys are better. Well, they've been really good in the regular season before. I think they're better. There's something different about this team. A lot of it centers around the top-rated passer in the NFL, Matt Ryan.
And they want to win postseason. That's something they haven't been able to do. Justin Medlock kicking off to Jacquizz Rodgers, who will down it in the end zone. And the Falcons will start from the 20-yard line, and Matt Ryan, who has been an immensely confident guy when we talked to him the other day, and why not? 4-0 at home against these Carolina Panthers. Falcons have won the last 4 against Carolina and 6 of the last 7, so they have had the Panthers' numbers, although last year in the 2 games they were tough battles.
They were battles, and that's what Mike Smith alluded to, and he expects Carolina's best shot. They're going to come out swinging today. Atlanta expects it.
Those are the opening drives for the Falcons in the first 3 weeks. Walt Coleman is the referee. And the regular officials are back to the relief of everyone. First down at 10 at the 20-yard line. Jason Snelling is starting. Lusaka Polite, the regular fullback, inactive today. First play from scrimmage. Pressure up the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Roddy White, and it was Luke Kuechly, the rookie, who came in almost untouched to Ryan.
The Carolina defense, they've struggled early on the first drives of games, and with a young team that confidence wavers sometimes, that's so important. A good start. I like the aggressive call of a blitz right away. Put your team in an aggressive mentality.
And the Panthers have given up scores on 80-yard drives each time. Second down and 10, and the quick is bounced up and knocked down, so getting his hand on it with Charles Johnson, the big defensive end, number 95, and all of a sudden an aggressive Panther defense early on, 3rd and 10.
Charles Johnson going to rush, and if you're not going to get there, get your hands up. He does a great job of that. Charles Johnson, a Georgia player coming home, playing in front of his hometown crowd.
We got a few of them today, don't we?
Absolutely, and this is what it comes down to. Ron Rivera says this is all great 1st and 2nd, but get off the field on 3rd down.
Jacquizz Rodgers has come in the game. Good receiver out of the backfield, and we saw the touchdown scored last week. 3rd down and 10. And here is Matt Ryan stepping up, and down he goes inside the 10-yard line. So the Carolina Panthers with a terrific first series defensively, and it was Charles Johnson with help from Frank Alexander, a loss of 11.
You see Charles Johnson coming off the end, going to work against Tyson Clabo, and he just overpowers him. That's really a coverage sack, though. Matt Ryan, his hallmark has been quick, decisive decisions. They're muddying up the look. It's given Matt Ryan some problems, particularly on that first drive.
So Matt Bosher will be kicking from the end zone, and Captain Munnerlyn will return the punt, replacing Joe Adams, who fumbled twice last week against the Giants. And Munnerlyn at the 46. and will step out of bounds shy of midfield. Good field position for Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. So for the first time this year, the Falcons don't get a touchdown on the first possession for them in the game. So Cam Newton, whose yards per pass attempt, and you ask a lot of coaches, they say that may be the most significant, leads the NFL.
Yeah, the thing he needs to do better is protect the football. And he's going up against a defense that's #1 in the National Football League in takeaways with 11.
Panthers starting from the 47. Newton's pass, and it is caught by Greg Olsen, the tight end, for a minimal gain of 3. Let's take a look at the Panthers offense. And of course, they always want to get the ball in the hands of Steve Smith.
Steve Smith, absolutely, but Atlanta knows that too. They're going to do everything to take him away. This offensive line struggled mightily against the New York Giants, but so does everybody. They need to play better today. Jonathan Stewart's back. And I think he's an important guy to this offense. He brings a toughness to him. They're happy to have him back.
And he's in the lineup now on 2nd down and 7. Fake a handoff, and Cam Newton will get a first down inside the 30-yard line and out of bounds. Cam Newton, who has the longest rush of the year for Carolina, 40 yards, gets 32 yards on the keeper.
This is the zone read, and watch Cam Newton. He's going to watch the in man on the line of scrimmage and read off him. If they crash, John Abraham does, he's going to go. Great block by Brandon LaFell. Cam Newton told us what's going to be critical in this game. He said perimeter blocking. They're the team firing on all cylinders early.
And a great play made on Dante Robinson by LaFell, as you pointed out. And now a first down on the 18 of Atlanta. And this time the handoff to Stewart, but he'll be stopped from behind by Jonathan Babineau, and a loss of 1 with nearly 2 minutes gone by. Taking a look at the Falcons defense, and that is a unit that has been very confident in the early going, and they've strengthened themselves in several positions.
And John Abraham's the Tony Gonzalez of this defense. He seems to get better as he gets older. The linebacker Sean Weatherspoon, an emerging star in this league, and the safeties. Last year they were just guys. This year they're a big factor in this defense.
Asante Samuel, the former Eagle, has made an impact. 2nd and 11, D'Angelo Williams has come in as the back. And it's going to be Williams on the flare, and Williams is knocked out of bounds at the 16 by Dante Robinson. He picks up 2 there.
That's a good decision by Cam Newton. You got to like what you see thus far. Take the check down, get the positive yards. D'Angelo should have got more yards there. Matt Ryan being worked on by the trainers on the sidelines.
Last week we had Jay Cutler with a cut thumb in Chicago. So now it'll be 3rd down and 9. Not too bad. 7th in the NFL in red zone offense. Newton's pass, and it's caught by Greg Olsen, and Olsen will score. Greg Olsen with a 17-yard play, made sure he had it in his hands and charged into the end zone. And the Panthers have drawn first blood.
Watch Steve Smith here. If you're Cam Newton and they're going to give so much attention to Steve Smith and ignore this guy, go ahead, wear the other guy out. Greg Olsen, you give him that much space, he'll hurt you. He's another wide receiver, and we could throw all these numbers at you, but that's why you play the game. This is any given Sunday, and the Carolina Panthers came to play.
Great start for the Panthers on both sides of the ball. They didn't have to settle for the field goal. They got the touchdown. And now Justin Medlock, who came over after 3 years with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the Canadian League, looking to give the Panthers a 7-0 lead, and he does. So Greg Olsen, who last week caught 7 passes for a career-high 98 yards in the losing cause against the Giants, helped put the Panthers up early. Back here at the Georgia Dome, and Cam Newton, taking advantage of the good field position, leads the Panthers The 32-yard rush by Newton set it all up as Olsen caught the 17-yard pass and run play. And it took 2.5 minutes for the Panthers to reverse what has been the trend this year, John, of Falcons always scoring first time and the Panthers always giving up a score.
Yeah, flip the script, and it's important that they flip the script because this is a team where you worry about their confidence. They just got hammered on national TV against the New York Giants 36-7. They're a young football team. We talk about the confidence of Atlanta. Now they throw the first blow. That gives you confidence. I promise you, Ron Rivera has been telling his team they have not trailed all year. Let's get them in a football game and see how they respond. We'll see.
Now Rodgers, as you saw, returned a kick 77 yards early this year, and he's going to run this one out from 4 yards. Jacquizz Rodgers. And he is tackled as he gets shy of the 25-yard line. And so how pumped up are the Carolina Panthers and Ron Rivera urging on the defense, and what a job they did with the 3 and out. Falcons' second possession, and for the first time this year trailing in a game. So we've had a reversal of the script on many counts thus far. Ryan going to the air, and the pass is caught by Roddy White, and a first down to the 37, a gain of 13.
Look at that first drive. I think a brilliant job by Sean McDermott. Putting some fire into your team by bringing a blitz on the first play, hitting the quarterback. This is a team that came out aggressive. To me, they've been timid all year. That's not a timid defense on that first series.
Meanwhile, the Falcons have put a backup center, Joe Hawley, number 61, in a offensive line position. The handoff is to Michael Turner, his first carry of the game, and he gets maybe to Josh Norman coming up from cornerback, the rookie from Coastal Carolina. Time for our first game break. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the first score in the NFL this Sunday happened on the opening kickoff in Detroit. Percy Harvin of the Vikings, 105 yards for the touchdown. His 5th career kickoff return for a score. Detroit answered with a field goal. It's 7-3. And Dick, make sure from all of us here in L.A., we want to make sure we say a hearty congratulations to your partner John Lynch being nominated for the Pro Football Hall of Fame this week.
Well, we were going to make a more formal one, Kurt, but thank you from all of you guys in L.A. And John Lynch, well deserving of the first step into Canton, Ohio. Here's a pass caught by Tony Gonzalez. Gonzalez gets to midfield and into Panther territory with a 13-yard gain. Must have been fun defending him when you played.
Yeah, he made me feel like not like a Hall of Famer, and he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. What a terrific player, Tony Gonzalez. He seems to be like fine wine. He just gets better as he goes on. He's so diligent in his work, but playing at as high as level as he's ever played this far into his career.
Play action, and here is Matt Ryan, and holding on to it is Jason Snelling. And Snelling getting to the 46-yard line. That was the 22nd catch of the season for Tony Gonzalez, and that's the best total he's ever had to this point in his career. 16 years. Slowing down? I don't think so.
Ron Rivera says Tony Gonzalez keeps saying he's going to retire. The sooner, the better.
And he would echo that again right today. 2nd down and 7. Now Hawley lines up as the fullback, number 61, in front of Michael Turner, blocking for Turner. And Turner pushing the pile, and will be shy of the first down by maybe a yard. 6-yard gain by Turner.
That's good, tough running by Michael Turner. You know, there's this perception that they aren't using him as much as they have in the past because Dirk Cutter throughout his career has been a pass first. The numbers are the same, but I think a fresher Michael Turner will bode well for this team in the postseason. Now you got Julio Jones in it at the halfback position.
Turner, meanwhile, averaged over 5 yards a carry in the win over San Diego. And here's Julio Jones. They fake to him, and here is Turner. And Turner gets the first down and inside the 30-yard line. So Julio Jones lining up in the backfield, a fake to him, and they get 12 yards.
Well, and when you put Julio Jones back there, people say something's up. Nothing's up. They're coming right up the gut. with Michael Turner. You distract him with Julio Jones in the backfield, and then you hammer him right up the gut with Michael Turner, and that's good, tough running. This guy's finishing his runs today.
He already has 19 yards on 3 carries. First down, and Jacquizz Rodgers in the tailback spot. And here is Rodgers. And Rodgers picking up about a yard. Luke Kuechly, very impressive rookie, first-round pick from Boston College.
He's a star in the making. He's playing at a high level already. John Beeson said about him, he already appears to be a graybeard. He seems like an old head already in terms of his knowledge of the game. A good football player the Carolina Panthers drafted.
Captain Munnerlyn checks in as an extra defensive back on this next play, 8th play of the drive. Second down and 9. Fake to Rodgers. Ryan quickly finds Roddy White, who has a first down inside the 15. 13-yard pickup. Roddy White with the catch.
Matt Ryan has obviously been thriving, and it's been football like this. Look at the play action. Excellent play action. Get your head around, find your guy in Roddy White, and deliver a strike. There's that extra zip that people have been talking about. Matt Ryan dedicated himself more in the weight room this offseason, wanted to get stronger for late in the season, but also he's got a little more hot sauce on that football. He's throwing it.
And decisive on his read.
Absolutely.
First down on the 14. And here is Rodgers with the carry. Snelling blocking in front of him. And Jacquizz Rodgers getting down to the 10-yard line. Godfrey, the strong safety, after a pickup of 4. So this is what Matt Ryan has accomplished thus far. Pretty impressive this year.
Well, when you're 1-1-1, that's pretty good. He's on third down. He's been just as good, and that's the toughest situation you can put yourself in football. On third down, oftentimes comes that blitz, and he's feasting on the blitz. He's inviting that blitz, saying, "Come on, bring it. I'll eat you up."
Interesting that Tony Gonzalez comes out of the game. Normally, this is his territory. In the red zone, it'll be second down and 6 from the 10. Here's Turner. Turner may have enough for the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball. He needed to get inside the 5, and it was Kuechly and Godfrey. And it is a first and goal coming up for the Falcons.
Talk about Matt Ryan being quick and decisive. You know what I like about that play? Walt Coleman, first down, quick and decisive.
Yes, we're getting it from every area. And Tony Gonzalez back in the lineup. Now out he comes. Joe Hawley out on the wing, number 61 to the right. From the 4, first and goal, and here's Turner, and he dives just short of the goal line. They'll mark it at about the 1.5 yard line. Second and goal coming up for the Falcons, who are trailing 7-0 in an early moment shocker in this one.
Yeah, but they've steadied themselves well. This has been an impressive drive. He trips over his offensive lineman Mike Johnson's leg right there. Otherwise, he walks in the end zone. Michael Turner's a nice guy to have. 3rd and 1. This guy's a big back, 250 pounds.
And the handoff is to Snelling, who's knocked back, and a penalty flag is down. Our first penalty of the game.
It's going to be 12 men on the field. They cut Greg Hardy on a substitution running off.
There are 2 fouls on the play, offsides on the defense. 12 men on the field on the defense. That penalty will be declined at the distance of the goal. Second down.
Mike Smith trying to go to 4-0, and let's pick it up.
Watch Greg Hardy right here. Maybe he's the guy that was the 12th man and offsides. I think he got both penalties.
Second and goal from the 1 now for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Going to try to throw this one for the score. And the flag is down. Tommy Gallardo, the tight end. And the Panthers are claiming offensive pass interference, and that will be the call on the push-off.
Pass interference, 87, offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Here's Gallardo right here. He's going to be matched by Luke Kuechly at the end of this play. And he gives him a shove. Now, I'll tell you this. Tony Gonzalez gets away with that. Tommy Gallardo, not enough respect yet in your career. The refs will call that. Good call by the referee.
You ever get pushed off that way by
all the time? They didn't call it that much, though.
Of course not. Well, now the ball is placed outside the 10-yard line. It'll be second down and goal. Rodgers is the running back to the right of Matt Ryan. Ryan's pass caught by Roddy White, hit immediately, and a flag is down. The rule the pass is incomplete, and the penalty flag is down. Good hit that time by Charles Godfrey, knocking the ball loose from White.
Personal foul, helmet-to-helmet hit, 24, defense. That's the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's Josh Norman.
They called 24.
Yeah,
that was
Godfrey.
That was Godfrey on the hit right here. And is there helmet-to-helmet? I don't know. I mean, that's a tough call. The league has made it clear that they want you to lower your target. Good football play to me. But it was close enough. That's the challenge, the predicament these DBs are in football today.
Well, back and forth we go with the penalties now. It's first and goal at the 5 for the Falcons. And here is Matt Ryan to Roddy White, incomplete. White got a hand on it. And now second down and goal. It seems that Matt Ryan has been in the red zone for about 15 minutes, John.
They're going back and forth with penalties. Penalties will kill you, but Roddy White, you got to catch that football. That's one thing. He has not had drops at all this season, something that's plagued him in the past. He's had an excellent year. You got to bring that one in. Roddy will be the first to tell you that.
Kind of catch he's made before. 13th play now of this drive. And here's Ryan, and he's going to be sacked. Ron Edwards and Charles Johnson combined for the second sack of this first quarter by the Carolina Panthers, and a 9-yard loss on the play. Little jawing there by the rookie Josh Norman.
Carolina, they're answering some questions. Charles Johnson, he's had a good year. He's had 0 sacks to show for it. He's got 2 already today. He's starting to deliver, and that's what great players do. They don't get close. They get there. Charles Johnson's doing it.
Third down and goal, and the Falcons 13 yards away from the goal line. Here's Ryan's pass, intercepted. Pass intercepted by Nakamura. And it is only the 3rd takeaway of the year by the Carolina Panthers. A lot of chances for both teams in the red zone, but the Carolina Panthers hold and get the ball back with the lead. Well, an interception by Nakamura, his first career interception in his 60th NFL game, and only the 3rd takeaway by the Panthers. The only other 2 they had came against the New Orleans Saints in the game they won.
There's Cam Newton, little wildcat.
D'Angelo Williams, now he goes behind center, and Newton in the pocket. Caught by Olsen, first down, out of bounds. So a 21-yard return by Nakamura after the interception, and now they get 11 more here.
And you just like the mentality, the presence of the Panthers thus far. We talk about in the pregame about how aggressive the Falcons have been all year. The more aggressive team thus far has been the Carolina Panthers.
And there's Haruki Nakamura, who's formerly with the Baltimore Ravens, and Matt Ryan, who purely took responsibility for that interception. Jonathan Stewart is in the backfield on 1st down and 10, and here is Stewart trying to get running room, and they get a yard, and that's all.
We're going to take a look at that last interception from Matt Ryan. Watch Nakamura. He's going to sit there. And now to Matt Ryan's defense, you can't throw that football, but last week, if you're studying the Carolina Panthers, I could not find Nakamura on the screen because he was 40 yards deep at times. They made an adjustment, and that's what they're showing today. They've made adjustments to what's been a timid approach thus far. Today, they're aggressive. Matt Ryan says, hey, put that one on me. It's my bad, as well he should.
Only his 2nd interception of the season, 2nd down and 9. Play fake to D'Angelo Williams, and here is Williams, ball loose and down, incomplete. So Williams started a run before he had the ball, and Thomas Deku almost came up with the loose ball.
And Thomas Deku's been excellent all year. You talk about players improving. His 5th year, I mentioned him earlier today. This guy was just, you'd see flashes, but today, this year, he's established himself as a factor on this defense.
Well, you would know about safeties, and you felt the same way about William Moore, that whole combination.
They're playing at a high level. I think these corners, Asante Samuel's presence has helped those guys out tremendously.
3rd down and 9 from the 33. Three-man rush. Newton. And incomplete, and a pass that should have been caught by Mike Tolbert, the fullback. And it'll be 4th down for a game break. Let's check in with Kurt again.
Well, like Atlanta, the Houston Texans still unbeaten, and former Falcon quarterback Matt Schaub hooking up with James Casey on an 11-yard score. They lead the Titans 7-0. Dick and John, we should note that Titans quarterback Jake Locker out again, re-injuring his left shoulder.
As the Panthers punt, I'd just like to send back to L.A. my congratulations to our colleague Michael Strahan, also nominated for the Hall of Fame. And what a great player he was.
Isn't it great that at Fox we have 2 of our personnel named nominees to the Hall of Fame, Michael Strahan and my partner, John Lynch.
Got to catch that football. See Mike Smith, defensive coordinator at heart, always a defensive coordinator, but the head coach getting with his defense, trying to figure out this Carolina Panthers unit that's been very effective today.
1st down from the Falcons, 23. Panthers in a surprise 7-0 lead. Here's Michael Turner, slips a tackle, and look at Turner getting the 1st down. Tremendous run if you're a Falcon fan, and you look at the poor tackling if you look at it from Carolina's standpoint, and they get 17 yards on that play.
That's just will, that strength. Look how big those legs are, that bottom half. I've tried to tackle this guy. He is a load, but this is just heart and will. Look at him churning those legs, refusing to go down. You think you have him there? He's falling forward today.
Eight on the play clock. 1st down at the 40. Michael Turner again, running room up the middle, and he gets into Carolina territory. Godfrey finally tackles him with help after a gain of 11.
So Atlanta, that's been a lot of passing the football, is seeing an opportunity to run the football, and that's just too big of a hole. When you have a back like Michael Turner, that's just too big. Somebody missing their assignment there, and the Atlanta Falcons taking advantage of it.
28 yards on the last 2 plays by Turner, who's averaging 8 yards per carry. And here is Ryan going deep to Roddy White. Touchdown! Beating Nakamura, who had the interception just moments ago, 49 yards. And the smiles adorn the face of Matt Ryan.
Well, when you run the football effectively, what's that do? It sets up play action. They go to follow Michael Turner. And that Roddy White just runs the top off this defense, gets behind him. A good ball by Matt Ryan. Beautiful execution by the Atlanta Falcons.
And the 49-yard pass completion, the longest of the year for the Falcons. And the second touchdown catch by White. Matt Ryan ties the game with 26 seconds left in the first quarter. Turnaround catch by White. And how delighted was his quarterback.
We asked new offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter, what's the greatest strength of Matt Ryan? He said he's a wonderful communicator. He's not afraid to say what he means. He's saying what he means right there on that long ball to Roddy White.
Kealoha Polaris returning a kick for the first time this year. If he brings it out and doesn't. So the Panthers will start at the 20-yard line. Well, baseball's regular season coming to an end, and the National League's best teams will look to move one step closer to the World Series. Legends are born in October, and our exclusive coverage of baseball's postseason begins Sunday, October 14th, with Game 1 of the NLCS, only on Fox. So many stars in the National League ready to blossom in postseason. And we have seen stars here in this first quarter at the Georgia Dome. 7-7 the score. Cam Newton a 4 of 6 for 33 yards and a touchdown throw starting from the 20. And on the end around, here is Steve Smith. And Smith loses the ball. Fumble at the 30. And the Falcons have recovered. It was Dante Robinson who knocked the ball away from Steve Smith. And the first turnover of the game, and the Falcons sitting pretty once again.
Well, Steve Smith usually so sure-handed. Dante Robinson just gets that left hand in there. The ball comes out. This is what the Atlanta Falcons have done so well this year. They've gone after that ball. It's been an emphasis of new coordinator Mike Nolan. You see that left hand right on the ball. It's knocked out, and the Falcons recover.
And you know, they review all turnovers, which they're doing as well, but there is also an injured Panther down on the field at the 30-yard line. So Robinson gets it done, and there is the injured Panther. And it looks like Ryan Khalil, the center. Falcons, meanwhile, with a +11 turnover ratio, leading the NFL, and now have forced 12 turnovers this year. That has been their MO on defense.
Well, it's absolutely critical for the Carolina Panthers, knowing that about Atlanta, that they like to take the ball away. Carolina does not flourish when they turn the football over. Nobody does, but Carolina in particular, since Cam Newton's been here, when they protect the football, they win. When they don't, they lose. It's that simple.
And you know, all teams emphasize it. Mike Nolan, though, has come here and he has really given this defense an identity.
Well, they've confused quarterbacks first and foremost. I mean, it's not too often. They've played in the last 2 weeks, Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers. Those guys don't confuse easily. And Mike Nolan said, you just maybe not confused, but you want to give them pause. He's made them pause. But right there, he said also it's all about the players. The players are going after the ball, and Dante Robinson did a great job just getting his hand on the football.
Mike Nolan, who's been with 9 different teams, 14 years as an NFL coordinator, head coach for the 49ers. And of course his dad, Dick Nolan, who was a head coach, also played with the old New York Giants. First and 10 from the Panther 30. Pass swung out to Rodgers. And Rodgers gets 9 yards. John Beeson downfield making the stop. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Panthers showed early a 3-and-out. And a touchdown. Long TD by Matt Ryan. 7-7 after the first quarter. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. Steve Smith, who lost the ball after a good run because of Dante Robinson's fine play, and now it'll be 2nd down and 1. Cam Newton over on the side, and of course so much has been made of Cam Newton and what people term his sulking. Steve Smith said something publicly this week about him. Meanwhile, Michael Turner is in the backfield. 2nd down and 1 as we start the 2nd quarter. 7-7 the score. 2nd and 1. Ryan will try to throw it. Can't find a receiver. And now he's going to go down. A flag is down as well. Charles Johnson wouldn't let him get away. And let's see if there's a face mask call on this.
Personal foul, face mask, number 95, defense. Penalty will be from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
Charles Johnson working hard, getting after Matt Ryan, and he finds the face mask. Good call by Walt Coleman and the gang. Charles Johnson playing a heck of a game, though. And Dick, I think it's really important. You're the Carolina Panthers. You threw the first blow. Atlanta has quieted it down, has got back and going, has some momentum. I think you have to stay aggressive.
79 is eligible.
You've got to stay aggressive as a football team. You can't get back on your heels because that's what's plagued you this year. You have to stay aggressive and get after Matt Ryan.
And it's too early to start to let the wind out of your sails. 7-7 is the score. It'll be 1st down at the 19. Mike Johnson, number 79, an eligible receiver. And here is Ryan to Snelling, and Snelling is put down quickly by Luke Kuechly. And there'll be a loss of 3 on the play. So on that play, at least, John, the Panthers stay aggressive defensively.
And that's what you like so much about this kid. Watch Luke Kuechly and where he comes from. In the NFL, they're going to make catches. How quickly can you get them down to the ground? How quick is that? You said it, quickly. He's right there at the line of scrimmage. That's good linebacking play by Luke Kuechly, the rookie out of Boston College.
The real thing. Ask anybody. 2nd and 13. Now back at the 22. Fake to Turner, and there is Roddy White, who came back to make the catch. Otherwise, there would have been a loss on the play. 1 yard as it was. Charles Johnson put the pressure on. Kuechly made the tackle.
We're going to go with the little bootleg, and Charles Johnson, he's not falling for it. Watch this hit he puts on Matt Ryan, makes him get the ball out, and Kuechly on his assignment again, there to tag Roddy White. Charles Johnson very active thus far today. They needed him to be, and he's stepping up to the challenge.
3rd down and 14 from the 23. Matt Ryan looking downfield, going downfield, and the pass is knocked down by Nakamura. Julio Jones, the intended receiver. First time they've gone to Jones today, and Nakamura, who has an interception, makes a key defensive knockdown there.
Absolutely, and they always say about defensive backs, you better have a short memory. And that ball flew over his head the last series, but he's right back here making plays. Already had an interception. That's tough against Julio Jones, a well-thrown football. Good play by Nakamura.
So Matt Bryant is on. Trying to get 6 there was Matt Ryan, and Bryant with a 41-yard attempt. 6 for 6 so far this year. And perfect again is Matt Bryant. 1 yard shy of his longest field goal thus far. The Falcons take the lead 10-7, but some plaudits for the Panthers in not letting the Falcons get the touchdown. Back at the Georgia Dome, Dick Stockton, John Lynch, and Jennifer Hale. So the Panthers, after the turnover, holding the Falcons to a field goal. Polaris is back, and Bosher will be kicking off for Atlanta early here in the 2nd quarter. Polaris running it out, and he dives past the 20. John, you talked about Steve Smith and his comments about Cam Newton off of what he had done last week, talking about his sulking situation. That's been talked about before, but Steve Smith kind of made it public there.
Well, he did, and I think Ron Rivera was right to say, hey, let's try to keep it in-house. But you know what I think that was? I think it was great leadership. That's what an old player should do, to a young rookie that's trying to figure this league out. And there's so much weight on the quarterback's head. Talked to Steve on the field. He said, look, a couple of years I'm going to be on the couch watching Cam. I told him I'm trying to get you all the advice I can right now. See D'Angelo Williams on the carry. And I believe that's tremendous leadership. That's what Cam needs. You heard Terry in our pregame. You don't want to make it harder. It's hard enough to play quarterback in this league. And Steve Smith is just trying to help his teammate out. And I believe he makes him better.
Well, you've been in that position before, and we never know what really goes on in the locker room to straighten teammates, and they know that this is part of the game.
It's like a kid. They step out of line. You help them get back in line. They need to learn. And Steve Smith's a great one to learn from. I know he just fumbled, but this guy's a player. Mike Nolan called him the most competitive player in the National Football League.
That was an 11-yard run by Williams, a first down at the 31. And here's D'Angelo Williams again, breaking a tackle, getting another first down, and diving to the 44, picking up 13 more yards. So 24 yards for Williams on 2 straight carries.
Well, D'Angelo Williams, this guy's a threat to take it the distance every time he touches the football. He's an explosive runner. Went 74 yards against the Falcons just last year. So you hold your breath when you're a Falcons fan every time he touches the football.
Leading rusher, picked up 118 yards coming into this game, and a first down at the 44. Hand off to Williams again, and Williams picking up 2. Cam Newton coming out, leading his team before the game.
That's not sulking. He listened to Steve Smith. He's ready to play, and he showed it. You like to see that. He's got such a wonderful smile. And the thing that always surprises us, how big the guy is. You get next to him, he looks like a defensive lineman.
Terry Bradshaw talking about, he says, look, I don't know what kids are like today, but they do things like that. We didn't, but they do today, and there was an example of that with Cam Newton. Jonathan Stewart is in the game, second down at 8, and the pass is caught by Lewis Murphy right near the first down.
Good execution by Cam. Atlanta doing what we call that amoeba defense. They move all around, and then they all go their separate ways. But Cam said you just got to trust your eyes. But the one thing you're seeing at the end of that play, the ball just came out of Murphy's hands. Atlanta's going to go after that football. You've got to protect the football.
I got to know, do you think that was too much what Cam did there? I mean, you know, coming out of the...
No, you love it. He's inspiring his teammates. You love that energy. Quarterbacks, everyone's looking at him. You like that kind of energy. That's the good stuff.
First down at the 46. And there's the pitch to Jonathan Stewart. Stewart out of bounds after picking up about 5.5 yards. So the Panthers once again in Falcon territory.
And here's the option. How often do you see this in the NFL? Not very much. Mike Smith said it best. Most quarterbacks, you don't have to worry about them. They're distributors of the football. With Cam, you never know when he's going to run, so you have to account for them. It becomes a numbers game, and it's tough to deal with as a defense.
Mike Nolan said that. Different kind of quarterback than Peyton Manning and Phillip Rivers, to be sure. Second down and 4. Newton drills it, and it's caught inside the 15 by Steve Smith. And a Carolina first down, and the Panthers threatened once again. That was a 27-yard pass play from Newton to Smith.
A lot going on this. Cam's going to pump the quick slant to him, then he goes vertical, then he goes back to the post. That's a great route run. You see the pump by Cam, trying to back that corner off, and then a strike to Steve Smith. Again, I continue to say it, but you like the aggressiveness of Carolina. They're going after the Falcons. They're playing to win rather than not to lose.
And they're going after him on both sides of the ball. So the streak continues for Steve Smith. That was his first catch of the game. Hand off to D'Angelo Williams. Williams will get into the end zone for the touchdown. And I would say, John, the Panthers have certainly recovered from that turnover on that last series they had, and they get the touchdown to move ahead on a 13-yard run.
Well, watch Cam Newton. When you're not a distributor, he's going to be watching Stephen Nicholas right there at the end. Look at that hole. That's a big hole. I could run through that. D'Angelo Williams sure can, and he does all the way to the end zone. That's easy pickings for D'Angelo Williams and the Carolina Panthers.
Second touchdown of the season for Williams. Medlock. And he gives the Panthers a 14-10 lead. So here is D'Angelo Williams, one of the premier runners in this National Football League, with the touchdown, the reaction by Cam. And welcome back to Atlanta, the heart of the Southeast. And when the weather gets hot, nothing like a little spray to keep you cool. And here's the kickoff. Jacquizz Rodgers will take it at the back of the end zone. And the Falcons will start at the 20. This is not what the Falcons expected in this first half. A tight game. They trail by 4. And welcome back to the Georgia Dome. A little quiet as the Panthers lead 14-10. First and 10 at the 20. Matt Ryan handing off to Michael Turner. Turner gets just a couple on first down. And we've seen Cam Newton sulking, disappointed, you name it. Not this time, not right now.
And you just can't sulk in this league because, again, your teammates are watching that. And when they see that, that's a beautiful smile. When they see that, there's a positive energy on that sidelines. And there's a lot of positive energy for Carolina today. A lot of positive things happening on the field.
Second down and 9. Plenty of time on the play clock. Ryan, and it is caught by Gonzalez, picking up about 6 yards. Captain Munnerlyn making the stop.
And that's just a typical Tony Gonzalez catch that we've seen over his career for 16 years. Even when people are on him, he's going to body you up. He's going to bring it in. Sure-handed Tony Gonzalez.
And more of a no-huddle look now by the Falcons, who have a third down and 3. Ryan takes short, and the pass tipped away. Incomplete. Jones was the intended receiver, and Charles Godfrey got a hand on it. So fourth down coming up.
You watch at the end of the play, out of nowhere, Charles Godfrey comes. That's a great break on the football. They're reading Matt Ryan's eyes right now. He locked in on Julio Jones. Good play by Charles Godfrey. You want to be great, go ahead and pick it. Good football play by Godfrey, getting him off the field on third down.
John, it looks like the Panthers took advantage of the extra time they had to get ready for this one.
Those extra third down periods are paying off.
Bosher kicking to Captain Munnerlyn. Good punt. Munnerlyn slipped and went nowhere. And so that was a 56-yard punt by Matt Bosher. Cam Newton coming out on the field again. You saw how much he was happy about the way things are going. Has a chance to improve on it. Offensive leaders for Carolina. Cam Newton hasn't thrown much, but he has thrown a touchdown pass. And D'Angelo Williams on that last drive, 38 yards, and capped it with a touchdown. And Greg Olsen caught one earlier. There's Olsen, who split out to the left. First and 10 at the 19.
They've got all 3 backs. Williams, Tolbert,
Stewart. And Stewart carries beyond the 25-yard line. So, and there's a skirmish going on. Steve Smith for the Panthers. And Abraham has to push Asante Samuel out of the way.
And you see this 3-back look. It's something that Rob Chudzinski does very well. They haven't shown this all season. And he every week's going to show you something different. It makes the team next week prepare for something that maybe they won't see, but it also provides a different look, and that's difficult to deal with. Rob Chudzinski, an emerging star in this league, the offensive coordinator, puts this team in good situations.
And there is the pitch to D'Angelo Williams, but the Falcons are there. And it was Dante Robinson who already has caused a fumble in this game, coming in and forcing Williams to lose 3.
Now, Dante Robinson, he looked like a safety right here. That is good football. Watch him come in here. He's going to take on the block and then go ahead and make the tackle. That's excellent football by Dante Robinson, who stripped Steve Smith of the ball earlier today.
Now the crowd urging a Falcon stop on 3rd and 5. Newton's pass incomplete, intended for Brandon LaFell. So Atlanta holds after the terrific punt by Bosher, and will get the ball back as Carolina will kick it away.
Put that one on Dante Robinson. Carolina's got a little rhythm. They're starting to move the football. Out of nowhere comes Dante Robinson, makes a negative yardage play. It puts them in a long 3rd down. The crowd gets into it. Great job by Dante Robinson.
And the rookie Brad Nordman will punt. And Dominique Franks, who had a fine day as a kick returner last week against San Diego. And here is Franks from the 31. Dominique Franks, and a big saving tackle by Jason Phillips. An 18-yard return, and it could have been a lot worse for Carolina. Franks, who had a 22-yard punt return last week against the Chargers.
This is what's been so impressive about Atlanta this year, is that it's not only been on offense, on defense, but on special teams as well. They've been near flawless throughout the season in 2012 in all 3 phases. And Dominique Franks, he's an explosive returner. You see him like a running back, just looking for that hole, and then he's going to turn it up. Go get positive yards. Good drive start.
Falcons on their own 49. Michael Turner. And it takes a gang to bring him down. He gets to the 48 of the Panthers, getting 3 there.
They've been very effective running the football with Michael Turner right up the middle, right at Carolina. I'd stick with it and play the play action off that. I think that's one of Matt Ryan's greatest assets, is as a play action passer. And when you get Turner going, that only enhances that.
Falcons had to settle for a field goal after the turnover on the last possession, starting with really good field position here. 2nd down and 7. Ryan's pass is caught by Gonzalez, spinning away and getting extra yards inside the 35. Missing the tackle was John Beeson, the middle linebacker, and about 15 yards on that play.
And here's Tony Gonzalez. He's going to run a little stick route. Just turn it outside. This is what he does so well. He finds the soft part of the zone, breaks the tackle, gets extra yards. Tony Gonzalez, we can't say enough about him, and Matt Ryan trusts this guy as much as anybody on the field, as well he should.
2 touchdowns away from 100 in his career. 1st down and 10. Stepping up and going deep for Roddy White. And the pass knocked away. They've already gone to Roddy White for a 49-yard touchdown, and Josh Norman, the rookie, covering White here.
And he has separation. I think the only thing Roddy White doesn't do is turn his head quick enough. That ball's in the air right now. Now he can't locate it. He turns his head a little earlier. You've got a touchdown for the Falcons.
And Eli Manning certainly found Josh Norman a week ago Thursday, didn't he?
He did.
2nd down and 10. Here is Jacquizz Rodgers reversing direction, and he ran right into Captain Munnerlyn, who makes the tackle at the 29. So 5 yards on that play with under 4 minutes to go in the 1st half.
That's a philosophy of any team on 2nd down. When you incomplete pass on 1st down, get back half of it. Put yourself in a good 3rd down situation. They get 5. And now we sit here at 3rd and 5, much more manageable than a 3rd and 10.
Without question. Julio Jones hasn't caught a pass yet. They've gone to him once.
Here's Julio down here at the bottom.
3rd down and 5. pass and caught by Roddy White in traffic for the first down at the 20. A 9-yard gain. Good concentration there by Roddy White on the bullet from Matt Ryan.
Certain players you really respect, and Roddy White's been always one of those for me because that right there. He knows he's going to get hit, but he sits in the fire, concentrates on the catch, takes it, says first down.
Roddy White with 5 catches already in this first half. First down at the 20. Gamble is following Gallardo, the tight end, to the bottom. Instead they go to Snelling. And Snelling is stopped at the 15, a 5-yard gain. With under 2.5 to play in the first half. And the Panthers, in a surprise here, leading 14-10.
We were down here. They've been down here in the red zone a couple of times. What they've done a great job is keeping Atlanta to field goals in this red zone. If they can do that again, that's a win. Every time you keep this explosive offense out of the end zone, it's a victory.
Especially coming off of that turnover. Recovered fumble by the Falcons. Here is Turner. And Turner getting about 1, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning with 1:55 on the clock. Third down play coming up from Matt Ryan. Cam Newton and the Panthers lead 14-10. Minute 55 remaining in the first half, with the Panthers leading the Falcons 14-10, but a third down play coming up for Atlanta. They need 4 yards on the 14 of Carolina. Ryan, touchdown, Roddy White, his second of the game. And flag is down.
Offside, number 90, defense, penalties decline, touchdown.
It'll count. Alexander was offsides for Carolina.
A tremendous job by Dirk Cutter in the design. You're going to bring Roddy White into the slot. People know that he's who Matt Ryan loves on third down, so you bring him in the slot where you really can't double him. Nakamura, the safety, laid over the top. Touchdown, Atlanta. Good execution, good design.
14-yard touchdown play, and Matt Ryan kicking the extra point, and the Falcons regain the lead 17-14. So Roddy White, who has caught 6 passes for 97 yards already.
And that's a strike by Matt Ryan. And that's a perfectly thrown football to Roddy White. That's good all around. That's Matt Ryan, good protection. Again, they're moving Roddy White around so that they can't get a beat on where he's at. And then you got to fire a strike and you got to catch it. They do it on all levels very well.
How about the ratio so far? Touchdowns to interceptions, 10-2 for Matt Ryan. And those are Roddy White's impressive numbers. He's caught both of the touchdown passes from Ryan, as the Atlanta Falcons trying to go to 4-0 for only the 3rd time in their history.
One of the reasons I thought that the Falcons coming in were the best team in the league thus far is you look at who they beat, who Matt Ryan's beat. He beat Peyton Manning 2 weeks ago. Last week beats Phillip Rivers. Those are good notches in his belt.
Without question. Interesting, after 3 games against the AFC West, playing their first game not only in the division, first game in the NFC in week 4. That's unusual.
And Mike Smith said jokingly, I feel like we're in the NFC West or AFC West.
They won that division.
Yeah, they've got that one.
Polaris will keep it there, and the Chargers will take it out at the 20-yard line. So halftime is coming up, and to find out what's on the menu, let's join Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll have highlights from a busy day in the NFL, including the undefeated Texans having no problem against the Titans, the Chiefs being brought back to reality by the Chargers, and the Patriots trying to get back to 500. It's all on the Visa Halftime. So, boys, come on, get back to work.
First and 10 at the 20 for the Panthers. Each team has all 3 of its timeouts remaining. Cam Newton's pass caught by Smith shy of the first down, 2 yards shy, as Robinson made the hit.
The thing you know about these Atlanta corners is they will cover you, but they'll hit you. You catch the football. And I think, again, Carolina, I think they've been good today because they've been aggressive. Go for the touchdown. Play to win here. Don't play it safe.
Here's Mike Tolbert. And the former Charger bulls his way to the 33. He gets 5 there as we wind down to a minute remaining in the half.
As explosive as the Falcons are, you don't want to leave them too much time, but you got to pick up your pace a little bit. You want to be scoring a touchdown.
Milton goes underneath again to Tolbert, the fullback, who's tackled at the 40. And let's see if the Panthers call a timeout here.
Yeah, they're in no hurry, but I think they need to pick up the pace. Yeah, you've got all those timeouts. You can't take them home with you.
2nd down and 2. And this catch by Olsen, and they've got to call one now, and they do. And a first down to the 45-yard line. Only 35 seconds left, however, and a long way to go, John.
30-second timeout.
And that, to me, you're playing for a field goal. This was a dangerous throw, by the way, not looking and then coming, kind of throwing off your back foot over the middle. Greg Olsen brings it in. But I just think the approach, the urgency wasn't there on this drive. And you may walk out with a field goal, but let's go for it. And if we can score a touchdown, great. But now you may not have that option with only 35 seconds left.
Mike Shula, the quarterback's coach, with instructions for Cam Newton.
Still have 2 more timeouts.
And you knew that if the Panthers had struggled on first down, Atlanta would have called the timeouts in hope of getting the ball back for one last chance. The first down, but the clock a factor here. Newton, and the pass is incomplete. Pressure that time by Croy Bierman, who's made a history out of that for Atlanta.
We talk about Mike Nolan creating confusion. Watch where Croy Bierman comes from. Right here, he's going to come through. Then Thomas Deku on the delayed blitz comes to pressure, but it's Bierman that eventually gets there. Cam's holding the ball too long. You've got to get rid of it.
Now 31 seconds remain. Still 2 timeouts for the Panthers. But the clock and the yardage, the factor is here. 2nd down and 10. Newton's pass, and trying to go to Smith, and a flag is thrown, and we're going to have a pass interference call, and it'll be against Smith. Offensive pass interference against the Panthers.
Pass interference, 89. Offense, penalties decline. Penalty will be accepted. 10 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
John, they're still acting after the regular officials are back, huh?
In the NBA next year, you might be fined if you're Dante Robinson.
That's right.
Talking about finding the floppers. That was a little bit of a flop. We've seen that guy hit today. He doesn't move easily, and he sure did there.
So now 2nd and 20 as Mike Smith observing with less than a half a minute remaining. Falcons have the lead. They need one long pass to get into field goal range, perhaps. Or a long run. That one not long enough. Out to the 41. William Moore makes the tackle, the safety for the Falcons. Clock stopping with 17 seconds to go.
Second.
And a timeout called by Carolina.
30-second timeout.
Well, Fox tonight, Animation Domination returns with a night of epic season premieres. The Simpsons hit New York with a new girl, Zooey Deschanel. And then after Bob's Burgers, Family Guy conquers Mount Everest, followed by American Dad. It's Animation Domination season premiere Sunday on the only place for new episodes, Fox.
And, you know, I think just mismanagement of the clock by the Panthers here. You know, you got the penalty, but prior to that, you put yourself in a tough situation. You've got 3 timeouts, use them. You got to move the chains. That's the important thing. But you could have managed the clock a lot better.
Even to get into field goal range, which could tie the game. Now the crowd into it. One timeout left for Carolina. 3rd and 14. A lot of time, no one to throw to, and Cam Newton finally goes down. Nicholas caught up with him, and that will run out the clock. And a good point, John, about Carolina having one last chance and 3 timeouts, and it didn't happen for them, and that will end the first half with the score, the Falcons 17 and the Panthers 14. And we'll be right back after these messages. Kealoha Polaris returning kicks for the first time this year, and a long kick. And the Panthers will start at the 20, and we send it to the 3rd member of our team, Jen Hale.
Well, Dick, the Panthers credit their fast start in this game to extreme efficiency on 3rd down. Ron Rivera tells me that was the game plan coming in, and when the Panthers follow it, they succeed. I asked him if he wished he had those timeouts back in that last drive of the first half, if he thought he could have managed the clock a little better. He said absolutely not. That was the game plan. Had they not made one stupid mistake, it would have worked. Over on the Falcons sideline, Mike Smith tells me he is blaming the Falcons' uncustomary slow start to a lack of focus. Also in the second half, they're going to do a much better job of accounting for Charles Johnson with 4 tackles, 1.5 sacks in the first half. Dick?
All right, Jen, and I'm sure the stupid came from Rivera. You, as Cam Newton's first pass is complete to Jonathan Stewart. And Stewart gets about 8 yards on the first play of the second half. An interesting comment about the focus aspect by Mike Smith.
Yeah, you start drinking the Kool-Aid, listening to everybody talk about how good you are, but you got to go show it each and every week. They rebounded quickly enough. Mike Smith, an excellent coach at getting his team ready. They're playing now. We got a good football game on our hands.
Cam Newton, 10 of 14 for 98 yards, 1 TD and no interceptions. 2nd and 2. Again, Stewart, and Stewart's not going to get there as John Abraham makes the tackle. Abraham in his 13th year, and that will induce a 3rd and 1 for the Panthers.
A little shift in philosophy for Mike Nolan early. We saw a lot in the first half, dropping numbers out. 8 guys out. Now they're loading the line of scrimmage, trying to put out that fire in the Panthers' run game. Mike Nolan adjusts as well as anybody in this league as a defensive coordinator. See all these numbers up here near the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 1, and Stewart, second effort, and the initial marking is that he appears to be short. It was Abraham again who came in to make the tackle, and we may have a measurement here.
This is the element Jonathan Stewart. Looks like John Abraham has him in the backfield. He keeps those legs turning much like Michael Turner was in the first half, and may have just got himself a first down with that 2nd and 3rd effort.
He did. You could see the linesman coming in indicating maybe he didn't get there, but it was a first down for the Panthers, so at least they avoided 3 and out on the first series of the second half. Play action for Cam Newton. And trying to get it out to the fullback Tolbert. The downfield receivers were well covered by the Falcons. Brings up 2nd and 10.
You know, Rob Chudzinski will tell you that the traditional passing game is where Cam needs to make the most improvement. You watch him, you see quarterbacks 1, 2, 3, you watch him, he's holding the football, he's holding the football, he's holding the football, then he doesn't set his feet. Those type of progressions is where he needs to improve to become the complete package as a quarterback, which he certainly is capable of being.
Coming back home, native of College Park, Georgia, played of course at Auburn, and played a SEC championship game in this stadium, and Tolbert trying to move the middle, and the Falcons have stopped all of the inside runs so far in this 3rd quarter as Bierman and Nicholas stopped Tolbert for a gain of 1. Those are the offensive leaders for Carolina. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Cam has not been good on 3rd down thus far this season. Only throwing at 38% coming into today's game on 3rd down. 3rd and 9, you're going to have to throw the football.
And in this game, Carolina 2 of 5 on 3rd down. Pressure on Cam Newton. Way back. And the pass is incomplete. No chance there. William Moore with a safety blitz, and they brought a bunch of people. So they'll have to kick here.
Well, it's hard enough, but now Mike Nolan's going to throw this on you. Croy Bierman, that defensive lineman, is your free safety on that look. That's that amoeba look where they move around and then everybody disseminates in different directions, something different every week. You're Cam Newton, and all of a sudden 71, who's supposed to be rushing you, the free safety. It's tough in the NFL.
And it's tough when you're in your 2nd year and you have to face Mike Nolan. Dominique Franks with a fair catch at the 27-yard line, and that's where the Falcons will start. We've had chippiness in this game, and Croy Bierman has been on center stage. Falcons with their first possession of the 2nd half, starting from the 28. Gonzalez going in motion. Slot to the left. Michael Turner on the stretch play. And he picks up a yard. Take a look at the offensive leaders for the Falcons thus far. And they've had a few. Ryan with 2 touchdown passes. Turner has averaged nearly 6 yards a carry, and Roddy White has caught 2 touchdown scores.
And if I've got Michael Turner, I'm not running him east and west sideways. I'm running him right up the gut. That's where they've been effective. The first play, they tried to get cute and take him outside. It's not his style. Take him downhill.
Meanwhile, Julio Jones has not caught a pass yet in this game. 2nd down and 9. Jones to the lower part of your picture, and Matt Ryan's pass caught by Gonzalez, and he'll get the 1st down. And Thomas Davis had a chance to make the tackle, missed it. As a result, 11 yards, moving the chains.
You know, if I'm Matt Ryan, and it's what Matt Ryan does, when in doubt, throw to 88, because that guy will deliver each and every time. We saw this earlier. Going to find the soft spot, then you're going to break a tackle and get more yards. So much trust that has been earned from Matt Ryan, from Tony Gonzalez. You continue to see why.
Maybe he shouldn't make this year's last year.
I keep playing.
I know he hedged when you asked him about it. 1st down. Pressure on Ryan. Sidearm pass to Michael Turner in the open field down the middle. They haven't brought him down yet, and they won't. And credit Tony Gonzalez with a big block there, and Turner goes 60 for the score.
Boy, that's good football all the way around. You see Tony Gonzalez right down here on Captain Munnerlyn. Breaking tackles, Michael Turner. It's typically been Jacquizz Rodgers that's been the screen guy for the Atlanta Falcons, but Michael Turner says, let me have a shot. And great effort by Roddy White. One last block to spring him into the end zone.
Matt Bryant looking to give the Falcons a 10-point lead. And he does with less than 5 minutes gone by here in the 3rd quarter. Right now, all is well with the Atlanta Falcons. And Turner with a big 60-yard burst.
As much as he's playing.
And back here in the Georgia Dome, and how about this for Michael Turner? That catch and run, most of it run for 60 yards and a score, his first career touchdown reception. You think at some point the back would have gone out.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
Michael the Burner Turner with his first one. Yes, he's a run up the middle type guy, but he's got the jets too. I'm surprised.
122 yards total for Turner as Polaris running it out. And he brings it out beyond the 20-yard line.
Just during the break, Ron Rivera with some words of wisdom for his young quarterback. He's probably telling you, we need you more than ever right now, Cam. And the thing I would caution Cam Newton right now, protect the football. Yes, you got to get back in this game, but you got to do it judiciously. You can't get careless with the football because the Atlanta Falcons feast on that.
10 of 16 for 98 yards for Cam Newton, and the touchdown pass to Olsen. Starting this drive from the 23. And the handoff to Williams. So some of the college plays that worked for Cam Newton in the past, they get 3 yards on first down. Falcons, who have started fast in the first quarter this year, has also done very well in the third. Now have outscored the foes 28-3. Second down and 7. And the play's blown dead. False start coming up against the Panthers.
False start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
These are the little things right now that are starting to go wrong for the Panthers. And when you're going to beat a team like the Falcons, playing as well, clicking on all cylinders, you can't have mistakes. You can't leave points out there before the half. You got to do everything right. And it's starting to come out from the seams for the Panthers.
They avoided the fact that they didn't protect the ball on the turnover in the first half, limiting Atlanta to a field goal. Now they're down by 10 and they have second and long. Newton getting some pressure, and this pass caught by Steve Smith, and that gets him out of trouble. And a first down to the 38, 17 yards to Smith.
And you watch this throw. We talk about the zip from Matt Ryan. I mean, this is the fastball from Cam Newton. Throws an absolute laser to Steve Smith. Steve Smith brings it in. That's impressive.
He's had 100-yard receiving games in 2 of the last 3 games against the Falcons. 3 catches here for 52 yards. From the 38 now. And the handoff is to Tolbert. Mike Tolbert. And making a good tackle from behind was Stephen Nicholas. Otherwise, it would have been more yards. Tolbert gets 6 that time.
Cam Newton, you talk about why are there such big running holes? Well, Mike Nolan, I think, described it so aptly. He said, look, as we mentioned earlier, the quarterback's not just a distributor when you have Cam Newton. Usually you're 11 versus 10 because you take the quarterback out of the equation. Right now you're playing man on man and you can't cover everything.
They've got that full house backfield in there now at 2nd and 4 with Tolbert, Williams, and Stewart. And here is Cam Newton, and he will get the first down just shy of midfield on the keeper. Ray Edwards making the tackle and a gain of 5.
And look at the predicament Ray Edwards is in right here. You take the dive for Jonathan Stewart, then Cam's going to beat you. And Ray Edwards actually does a nice job of trying to take the dive, but then getting out and getting Cam Newton, but not before he has a first down. That's the pickle he puts you in as a player. That's the dimension that Cam brings to the game.
Longest game was 32 yards in the first quarter to set up the first touchdown for the Panthers. First down. Back to throw. Newton's going to get away to an extent, and Sean Witherspoon wouldn't let him get away that much. It's the first sack of the game for Atlanta. Carolina has 3 on Matt Ryan. No gain.
Cam's trying to take a deep shot right here. That's the equation for the Panthers, is run the football, and then take a shot up top. It's not there, and this is just a really good open field tackle by Sean Witherspoon, who does this exceptionally well.
John, the Falcon defenders have to be doing a terrific job downfield. We've seen that many times tonight.
Mike Smith said it before today's game. Premium on tackling. We've got to tackle these guys in the open field.
Second down and 10. Quick pass out to Armonte Edwards. And Edwards will get the first down as he gets to the 39-yard line. So Armonte Edwards seeing his first action on the field, and his first reception getting 12.
I like that from Rob Chudzinski. Cam has a tendency to hold the football too long, so help him out. Give him a quick screen where you call him in to getting the ball out of his hand. And you got a punt returner in Armani Edwards. Get him the ball in space. Good positive yards there.
Such a thing as an important drive here, even though you're still in the third quarter.
Absolutely.
And Edwards on the direct snap. Armani Edwards, a high school quarterback, throwing, and the pass is incomplete. A flag goes down at the 15. Asante Samuel defending Steve Smith. So Edwards, a high school quarterback, and a lefty at that, with the direct snap going deep. And he also played quarterback at Appalachian State as well.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference. Their feet got tangled up. Take it down.
And that's a good job by the officials getting this straight. This is just the feet getting tangled up, which is not pass interference. The back judge does a great job of coming and conferring with the side judge who had called it pass interference, and they get that one right. That one was called correctly. Good job by the officials. Look at me, I'm praising the officials more than I ever have because I'm so happy to have them back.
Well, everyone is, you know, and
they do a heck of a job. Sometimes you don't appreciate something until you lose them. And I think we all have a greater appreciation for the job they do.
No question about that. And they're back today, so now 2nd and 10. Crowd turns it up a notch. Fake handoff, pass caught. And Greg Olsen. And Olsen gets it down to the 20-yard line and a first down. Time for a game break. Let's join Patrick O'Neill.
Thank you, Dick. Patriots at the Bills. New England hasn't lost 3 in a row since 2002, down 21-7. Brady buys some time, hits Danny Woodhead, breaks some tackles, 17-yard touchdown. But the Pats still down to the Bills, 21-14. Dick and John.
All right. Thank you very much, Patrick. 18 yards here.
What an excellent throw to Greg Olsen. It's on the dime.
5 catches, 55 yards and a touchdown. Here is D'Angelo Williams. And Williams getting to the 19, stopped by Vance Walker. Under 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. And the Falcons getting a touchdown, and Cam Newton and the Panthers trying to answer that and again get to within 3.
And the important thing is that you just get points on the board here. You've got a 2-score game, so a field goal. Yes, do you go for a touchdown? Absolutely. But number one, ball security, protect the football, get points on the board, make it a 1-score game.
Pretty impressive drive by Carolina. This is the 10th play of it coming up. 2nd down and 8. Newton, and incomplete. He had D'Angelo Williams downfield, and he also had a receiver short.
I think that's the next step. I mean, Rob Chudzinski, when we talked to him, he's come a long way, speaking of Cam Newton, but he's got so much left, room for growth. And sometimes it's taking that check down when it's right there in front instead of trying to force balls downfield.
It'll be 3rd down and 8, and this is the first 3rd down situation of this drive. And Newton's going to run, and he's going to make it inside the 5. 1st and goal. How to account for Cam Newton. Makes the job tough for Mike Nolan, and a 15-yard gain. 1st and goal coming up for the Panthers.
Cam Newton said noise equals poise, and there's a lot of noise. He wants that football, and here's why. He sees the parting of the Red Seas, and watch Steve Smith at the end of this. Wow, on Thomas Deku. Steve Smith's around. You better keep your head on a swivel. Big 3rd down conversion for Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers.
Newton with 60 yards rushing on 5 carries. 1st and goal at the 4. And Newton's going to run again. And Cam Newton gets to the goal line. Touchdown, Panthers. 4-yard run.
just great effort. Keep it in the big man's hands. And he's not sliding, I'll tell you that. He's going in there head first. We got a touchdown. Good call.
And a little dance afterward. And of course, he came into criticism because he danced after he scored a touchdown. But you know what? He's a happy player. We've seen him when he was down. We see him when he's up. He's up right now.
You got to be who you are. I have no problem with that. If you're a defense, you don't want him dancing, stop him.
Medlock looking to bring the Panthers to within 3. And he does. Impressive 12 plays, 77-yard scoring drive, capped by Cam Newton. A little dance, and then a little present. You know, this youngster is a Cam Newton fan. He's wearing number 1, his number, Auburn cap, and he got the gift of a football.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
And a terrific scoring drive by the Panthers, answering Atlanta's score. And with 3:16 to go, and it's still a 3-point game. So you get a touchdown and you get some eye drops. You all right, Cam? Cam Newton with his 17th rushing touchdown, second most in the NFL in the last couple of years.
That's phenomenal. I mean, that's a quarterback. That's what Mike Smith and Mike Nolan, that's why they stayed up late this week, because a quarterback does that to defensive coordinators.
You get something from Peyton Manning, something from Phillip Rivers, and then you got to deal with Cam Newton, who has averaged nearly 11 yards a rush. But here's Matt Ryan back on offense for the Falcons, trying to get it to Snelling, incomplete to him. Falcons have only 3 plays run in this third quarter. 1 was a touchdown. And you should call ** NFL to download NFL Mobile now and get coverage of every NFL game. Second and 10 from the 20. Matt Ryan with a screen to Turner. Last time he caught a pass, he went 60 yards for the touchdown. Norman makes the catch, gain of 1. Kurt Menefee with a game break.
Well, the 49ers continue to bounce back after that loss to Minnesota today at the Jets. Frank Gore, 4th and 1, takes it 2 yards for the score. They lead at 17-0. Dick and John. Mark Sanchez completing less than 50% of his passes for less than 100 yards, and they're about to go into the fourth quarter.
Mark of a good team is that you lose a game, you're on the road, long way, and you're leading.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what the Falcons are. They are a good team. Here we are on a long third down.
Caught. First down, Roddy White. What a day he's having. Roddy White with a 13-yard catch and a first down to the 34.
Roddy White, so dependable on these third downs. Great route. He's going to go get separation, burst off the line of scrimmage, and then you just give Matt Ryan a little bit of space. He'll find you. Roddy White with a tremendous job. We'll see if they can get Julio Jones. Still 0 catches in this game for Julio Jones.
For White, 30th time in his career, he's gone over 100 yards. First down, Jacquez Rogers. And he gets a couple.
Thing with Julio Jones that I really like him, he's so good with the ball in his hands. Sometimes it's the simple little slip screen, that middle screen. It doesn't have to be something down the field. And he adds such an explosive element. I would find a way to get him involved.
Kind of a receiver where not much going on, and all of a sudden, boom.
That's what they throw at you, the Falcons. You've got Gonzalez, you've got Roddy White, you've got Julio Jones, Michael Turner, a lot of weapon.
And Ryan's going down. Charles Johnson. And as Jennifer Hale mentioned, we got to do something against Johnson. They haven't yet. 4th sack of the game.
They bring Mike Johnson in at tight end. He's an offensive lineman, but you better bring 2 offensive linemen in there to block Charles Johnson, because he came to play today. That's just pure speed he beat Mike Johnson with, and Mike Johnson needs to do a better job right there.
2.5 sacks for Charles Johnson. Loss of 9. So 4 times today the Panthers have gotten to Matt Ryan. Now it's 3rd and 16. Bryant's pass dropped by Douglas. So the first time the Falcons go to Harry Douglas. He was open and dropped it. Fourth down coming up with 42 seconds left in the third, and Bosher will have to come in and kick.
Carolina, led by Charles Johnson. Great job. You put him in a 3rd and 16. Awful tough to convert. Not a lot of play calls for 3rd and 16.
Captain Munnerlyn back deep. Good kick. Great kick by Bosher. Munnerlyn inside his 15. Turns the corner. And more than a respectable run out as he brings it out to the 33. A return of 20. We'll be back. Cam Newton with 209 total yards. He has thrown a touchdown pass. He has run for a touchdown. You have in the fantasy league, I think you're doing all right.
Yeah, he's played very well. Most importantly, aside from the impact he's had, he's protected the football. He's not turning it over. And when they protect the football, Cam Newton thrives.
First down at the 33 with 29 seconds left in the third. Pitches to Williams. And Williams is slowed down by a keen dent and the tackle made. No gain on this play. And that could be the last play of this third quarter. Quarter in which the Panthers have run 19 plays and the Falcons only 9 plays. Both teams have scored a touchdown, however. And that will do it for the quarter. That's the end of the third. With the score, Falcons 24, Panthers 21. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after a break from your local Fox station. Maybe significant here is that under Mike Smith, the Falcons are 36-1 when they lead after 3 quarters.
But nonetheless, Ron Rivera, I'm sure, telling his team last night, just get these guys to the fourth quarter. They've been playing with leads all years. They haven't been in a dogfight. Let's get them there. And we're in one.
And the Falcons are pointing, and there will be a false start call against Carolina.
False start, number 61, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
It's the rookie left guard, Amini Silatolu. So second down and 16 coming up for Ron Rivera's team. 1-2 on the year. They've lost 4 straight to the Falcons. And 4 straight here, but last year 2 big battles. And they've got another big skirmish going on here. It'll be second and 16 back to the 27. Newton hanging in there. And running with it. And stepping out of bounds shy of the 40. Jonathan Babineau forced him out of the pocket.
An interesting thing Ron Rivera said during the week is, as a team, we've got to establish our identity. And we said, what is that identity? He said, offensively, we want to run the football and then be explosive off that. And then defensively, when we want to take the ball away. They've accomplished that. They're playing more aggressive. They're starting to see the identity of this team. They got a special guy behind the center in Cam Newton, a little unconventional, but special nonetheless.
Third down and 5. They have their identity. They're looking for the win. Newton's pass. And the pass caught, and it should be a first down. At the 43.5, Steve Smith with a tough catch as he got hit. And a first down signal by the referee, Walt Coleman.
Cam Newton said about Steve Smith, he's 5'9", but he plays like he's 9'5". What a catch there. Let's see. Left foot down, right foot not down. There's the flag.
The Panthers couldn't get the snap off. And the first challenge of today's game.
Greg Olsen frustrated.
Atlanta is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
Olsen's frustrated because he wanted Cam to snap the ball because he saw what we saw. They didn't have a catch, and he wanted that snap gone.
Yeah, that right foot didn't get down. Mike Smith is challenging the play that was ruled a catch by Steve Smith.
And you watch Mike Smith. Now, this is funny. He's trying to find that flag, first of all. And where is it? Is it in the front, in the back? And he eventually gets that flag and throws it, but he does throw it late. And you'll see Greg Olsen right here at the end of the line of scrimmage. They missed an opportunity. Snap it, you got a first down. Now they review it. They're going to be punting. Those are the little things.
Down in bounds. It's an incomplete pass. Late 4th and 5 at the 37-yard line. Please reset the clock to 14:20, please. Atlanta will not be charged with a timeout.
Both teams knew it. The punter was out, and so is Dominique Franks. And it was interesting. You don't get that flag, and you can't find it, and all of a sudden he does snap it. You miss the chance.
Yeah. What is it, Bill Belichick? He keeps it in that sock. A little unconventional, but he always knows where it's at.
Not pretty, but it gets the job done. So Brad Nordman will be kicking to Dominique Franks. Fair catch at the 17. So Matt Ryan will come out on the field with his talented receivers of Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez when we come back. Fox Sports is proud to partner with the Children's Organ Transplant Association during our NFL on Fox coverage. COTA is giving hope and making miracles for families whose children are facing transplants. To help change a child's life, please visit COTA.org/Fox Sports. Matt Ryan looking to the air, will dump it off and dropped by Michael Turner on first down.
You know, an interesting thing about Matt Ryan, we sat down with him this week, and a lot's been made about his work in the weight room this offseason. He saw that as an opportunity to get better, someplace where he could get better. He said he was watching the NFC Championship game, was disgusted. He texted the strength coach, Jeff Fish, and said, I'm going to be in there tomorrow, earlier than he's ever gone in there. The end result, 5 to 7 more pounds, throwing the football better than ever, feeling better than ever, and he thinks it will really pay off down the road late in the season.
Real short offseason for Matt Ryan. And the handoff is to Turner. Turner breaks a few tackles and gets the first down. Brilliant power running by Michael Turner with a little shiftiness thrown in. Tommy Gallard of the tight end had a nifty block there and nearly 15 yards.
You talk about some strength. This guy's got some strength. Watch him. He's done it all day. Yards after the initial contact has just been huge for Michael Turner. He's keeping those legs going. He's run the football excellent. He's shown up in the pass game. He's been outstanding for the Falcons today.
How about 76 yards as a receiver, or as a rusher, 61 as a receiver. Now adding to that total with a big burst by Michael Turner. And this time it was the left guard Justin Blaylock that freed him for 27 yards. 103 yards rushing already for Turner.
Let's watch Jake. Justin Blaylock. He's going to come out here. You're going to get on James Anderson, create that alley. You give Michael Turner a little space, he's going to do some damage. Great job up front. Beautiful running by Michael Turner.
Does he deserve a breather here? He's out of the game for Jacquizz Rodgers, I would say. And timeout call by the Panthers. Carolina calling the timeout early in this fourth quarter. We'll take a break. Falcons leading the Panthers by 3. The Panthers calling the timeout, and there's Michael Turner. Mike Smith behind him says, I got you, way to go, and why not? 164 total yards, including that 60-yard catch and run for the touchdown. Handoff to Rodgers, and Rodgers is brought down by the rookie Nakamura after a short gain.
And this is really, when you talk about special football teams, great football teams, you know how to finish people. You've got them on the ropes, finish them. And And Michael Turner is helping him do that there today. You got a lot of football to be played left, though, with 12 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Average 5 yards a carry against San Diego. He's 8 yards a carry today. Hand off to Rodgers. And Rodgers getting close to the 35.
I think they've got, as Jacquizz Rodgers develops and becomes more a part of this offense, a great complement to Michael Turner. And Michael Turner, you've got the big bruiser who turns his legs, and then you got a little guy you can't find, a little more like a Darren Sproles or Maurice Jones-Drew, and it's a great complement they have in the backfield now. More weapons for the Atlanta Falcons, scary for opposing defenses.
No let-up when Turner goes out of the game for the Falcons. 3rd down and 5, and Ryan's going to go down, try to get it away, but Greg Hardy got to him, and that is the 5th sack of the game by the Panthers. They have played an inspired defensive game today.
Look at John Beeson. He's going to get there to Roddy White. They double Roddy. Matt Ryan has to hold the football, and Greg Hardy finishes it. He's got a cast on that right hand. Broke his thumb last week, and wonderful job by Matt Ryan of holding on to the football. Almost comes loose.
Matt Bosher, whose last punt was 59 yards, will be kicking to Captain Munnerlyn, who's standing at the 10. Trying to keep it in play and does that. Munnerlyn, fair catch at the 11. So still early here in the 4th quarter. The Falcons lead the Panthers by 3. And the Panther defense getting to Matt Ryan today. Panthers tremendous pressure up front. The Falcons have been allowed only 4 sacks in the first 3 games, but 5 already today by Carolina.
You want to win, you better win up front. Carolina's been winning that battle thus far.
Charles Johnson, 2.5 of those sacks. First down for the Panthers on the 12. Crowd vocal. Inside the 5. Cam Newton's pass, and it's caught by Greg Olsen. Stays in bounds, and now they rule he went out of bounds, but not before a big gain and a first down, and they'll mark it at the 46. A gain of 34 on this pass.
Love the play call by Rob Chudzinski. You find the matchup you want, and you're aggressive. Little double move that creates the separation, and then Olsen just outruns William Moore. Greg Olsen, really, let's call it what he is. He's a wide receiver who plays tight end, and you put a wide receiver on a strong safety. William Moore is a heck of a player, but that's a mismatch.
89 yards on 6 catches and a touchdown for Greg Olsen. First down at the 46, and Tolbert gets 3.
Cam Newton with that zone read. He's just watching the defensive lineman. If they're going to crash on the dive, he'll keep it. That's one where I think he misses it. He should have kept it because they crashed down.
49ers leading the Jets 27-0, and we welcome those watching that game to what has been an unexpected thriller here. Atlanta undefeated coming in. Carolina embarrassed by the Giants 10 days ago. 3-point Falcon lead. It'll be 2nd down and 7 on the Carolina 49. Jonathan Stewart with the carry. Stumbles, recovers, gets the first down, and a few more. Along with John Lynch and Jennifer Hale, Dick Stockton here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. 15 yards on that play. Carolina with 5 sacks and an interception. Matt Ryan has thrown 3 touchdown passes. What about Michael Turner's day today?
He's been excellent. He's run the football exceptionally well. He's caught the football for a big touchdown. He's been very good, but I think it's been good play on both sides. This is just a good old division football game, and here we are with 9 minutes left and change, and we got a great football game.
Falcons, one of 3 undefeated teams in the NFL, but the Panthers coming back strong, and a handoff to Jonathan Stewart, and Stewart gets to the 31-yard line. Couple of the touchdowns by Atlanta, spectacular.
First one to Roddy White, Matt Ryan's favorite target, then Michael Turner. catches a screen and goes the distance. His first career receiving touchdown in 9 years. That's a bit of a surprise. And Cam Newton answers back, running the football. He's got the Panthers right in this football game.
Newton, 75 yards, a rushing career high for him in this game. 2nd down and 5. Play fake to D'Angelo Williams, Cam Newton, and the ball is knocked loose. And the Panthers jump on it. And forcing that fumble was Vance Walker, number 99 for Atlanta.
And he's going to loop around, a little stunt from the inside. And Vance Walker has been becoming a force as a pass rusher for the Atlanta Falcons. Good awareness by, I believe it's Greg Olsen, Hartsock, falling on that football.
It'll go as a sack for the Falcons, a loss of 5. So now 3rd down and 10. And the Panthers will call their 2nd timeout of this 2nd half. So Carolina left with 1.
Carolina.
1 timeout left for the Panthers, who will face 3rd and 10 when we come back. Saturday, our first doubleheader of the season. Aaron Andrews, Eddie George, Joey Harrington get you ready for kickoff. Fox College Saturday pregame show. Pac-12 showdown. Arizona takes on Stanford. Huge Big 12 matchup. 8th-ranked West Virginia. Could they score points? They go against Texas, the 11th-ranked team. 3rd down and 10. Cam Newton is 1 for 5 for 17 yards on 3rd down, but one was a touchdown. Flag is down. Maybe a free play. Polaris is going to get to the end zone for the score. Penalty flag is down, and if it's offside, they'll decline it, and the Panthers will get the touchdown.
Defense, that penalties decline. Touchdown.
Deku is offsides, and the Panthers regain the lead.
You always got to keep playing. It looks like a couple of the Panthers stopped when Deku stepped offside. I love the play call by Rob Chudzinski. You see Deku, and then the defense doesn't pursue to the football, which you got to have on a screen. I love the play call. Get it in Polaris's hands, and really I think they were trying to set up the field goal, get some positive yards, but you've got all those numbers out front, and Polaris takes it to the house.
36-yard play, you're absolutely right, and the first time he has caught a pass in this game, John. Medlock with the extra point. And so with just under 8 minutes to go in the 4th, Panthers lead 28-24. Falcons looking for their 3rd 4-0 start in history, and that's in jeopardy. They never trailed in a game until today.
You look at this, all these players in here, well, that creates space outside. And at least you've got to turn and run, because look, that's just numbers. A bunch of Carolina Panthers, not many Atlanta Falcons. He makes one guy miss, and he's out the door.
Well, John, it's always tough to win here in the Georgia Dome, and the Panthers had dropped 4 straight here and have a lead midway through the 4th quarter in a great turnaround from their loss to the Giants.
Well, they've certainly responded. They came right from the start. Steve Smith having a little different conversation with Cam Newton this week. Last week he was inspiring the young man, telling him not to sulk, and it's worked. Keep talking to him, Steve.
Well, Cam Newton says, look, winning cures a lot of those ills. They haven't won yet, but they have the lead on that 88-yard drive. Jacquizz Rodgers is back deep, and Medlock will kick off.
Cam is right by that. You win football games, all that other stuff goes out the door.
You can see the dismay on the bench for the Falcons, and Rodgers will down it. So we kind of got the idea early here, John, when the Falcons, who had scored touchdowns in their first drives every game, didn't get it, and the Panthers took the early lead.
Absolutely. Carolina came to play today. Talking to Mike Smith, the Falcons expected it. This is a division opponent. They knew they had come off a tough loss, but they were expecting the best shot, and they certainly have gotten it. Atlanta's responded, but Carolina's just playing good football. Atlanta's in the first fight they've been in all year. This is a team that's been blowing people away. Interesting to see how they're going to respond when you're in the thick of a game that goes down to the fourth quarter.
And we've seen it throughout the league. San Francisco started with 2 big wins, and then they stumbled, although they're winning big today. Matt Ryan. Pass is incomplete. Julio Jones has not caught a pass today. And the rookie Josh Norman defending, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Josh Norman, who had a very rough football game, was playing too soft versus the Giants. He gets up and contests it, makes a good play on the football. Nice job by the rookie responding to the difficulties he had last week.
2nd and 10. Ryan, and this time Turner can't hold on to it. And right now, time for a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, a lot of your audience was watching San Francisco hand it to the Jets. It's getting worse. Blocked punt by Larry Grant for San Francisco. They recover it, score a couple of plays later. Kendall Hunter, making it 34-0. Still time left in the fourth quarter, Big John.
Well, the 49ers coming out big time after the loss to the Vikings, who are leading Detroit. Here's Ryan flush from the pocket and on the run, throws it, and it's caught. And it's first time Julio Jones has made a grab today, and it comes with 7.5 to go in the fourth. 30 yards.
And what a time for Julio Jones to make his first catch of the day. But Matt Ryan does a beautiful job extending this play, allowing Julio Jones to find the open zone. Here's the new athleticism of Matt Ryan. Extends the play, throws the football on a dime to Julio Jones. Huge play for the Atlanta Falcons.
3 touchdown passes for Ryan today. 2 of them to Roddy White. First down, midfield. Here's Rodgers. Rodgers stays in bounds and gets the necessary yardage for a first down. Gets to the 35. And missing the tackle was Josh Norman, the corner. 15-yard pickup on the play.
This is old school cover too. Josh Norman, you're the flat defender. He cannot get outside you. All your help's inside. He gets inside, and those are the troubles you'll have with a rookie playing on defense and playing meaningful snaps.
Ryan on first down. Rodgers again on the screen. Rodgers gets away. And you pointed out the danger as the flag goes down. Dangerous Rodgers teaming up with Turner, and a face mask seems to be coming up against Carolina.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Offside, number 90. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, grasping the face mask, number 24. Defense, that penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the rookie Josh Norman missed the tackle on one play and then grabs the face mask on Rodgers here, and they'll mark it half the distance to the goal line.
And if you're Carolina, yes, they've moved it. Do they have some momentum? This is where you got to buckle down and you got to hold them to a field goal. You got to do that, I believe, by staying aggressive. That's what the Panthers have done well. They haven't been timid at all. They've come out swinging. You got to stay aggressive.
So it's 9 yards plus 13, half the distance. First down. Matt Ryan is going to go down, and it's Frank Alexander, the rookie from Oklahoma, and that is the 6th sack. So you're right. The Panthers do stay aggressive on that one and lose 9 here.
And this is just Frank Alexander whipping a good tackle in Clabo. Matt Ryan's going to hold it. If you hold it, as Mike Nolan said, you only have about 3 alligator in this league. You hold it 4 to 5 alligator, they're going to eat you up.
So the Falcons lose the 9, and it is 2nd and 19. Fake to Rodgers, quick pass. Jones, the target, incomplete. And the linebacker Thomas Davis coming back to Georgia. What a Tough time he's had injury-wise.
Look at Thomas Davis right here. Injuries or not, that's an explosive football player. This is a guy who had 3 ACL injuries in 23 months. They don't think it's ever been done. A guy coming back from 3 and playing at the level he's playing at. Great play by Josh Norman. Great play by Thomas Davis.
3 knee surgeries on the same knee in like 23 months. Amazing that he's on that field. 3rd down, 19. Here's Matt Ryan, and he gets it away to Rodgers. Matt Ryan was going down, and he completes the pass to Rodgers to the 15-yard line in the face of Charles Johnson's pass rush.
That's a win for Carolina right there. You allowed the yards, you had momentum, but as I said, you got to keep them to a field goal. That's exactly what they have done. Atlanta sets up. Mike Smith doesn't hesitate, sends out his field goal team. I think he makes the right decision. You have to trust your defense here.
Matt Ryan, who has not missed yet this year, attempting a 33-yard field goal to bring the Falcons to within 1. And it's good, just inside the left upright. And the Panther lead is 28-27. With just under 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter, and Cam Newton getting ready to go to work in a very tight game. Right now, let's go down to the 3rd member of our team, Jennifer Hale.
Well, Dick, a very different atmosphere here on the Panthers bench this week versus last week. Steve Smith came over to Cam Newton right after that last touchdown, high-fived him, I counted it 6 times, congratulating him on a job well done, imitating how agile he was out there on the field. Obviously, a winning score does a lot for these two relationship. Dick?
No question about it. We just gave a high five up here to John Lynch, who was nominated for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. And again, John, you know what? It only happens to you on a rare occasion that you get nominated, and we're all pleased for you and wish you the best of luck.
Well, thank you very much. But what a terrific football game we have going on right here. Carolina, that's been down on their luck. They came out confident, playing against an Atlanta Falcons team that's been firing on all cylinders. And now Atlanta's going to have to trust that defense right now. You've got to get the football back in Matt Ryan's hands.
Kealoha Polaris is back deep, and this one won't be returned. They'll start at the 20. Well, next on Fox, it's America's Game of the Week as Drew Brees and the Saints take on Clay Matthews in the feisty Green Bay Packers defense. It's America's Game of the Week. It's next, and it's on Fox. How about the Saints? Winless, and they've got to go against the Packers at Lambeau.
Yeah, we saw Carolina come out swinging. I promise you, the Saints, Drew Brees gave a big inspiring talk to his team. They're going to come out swinging. That will be a great football game.
And Cam Newton has had a terrific day today. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He has passed for 215 yards, and he goes out to the left. D'Angelo Williams is getting the direct snap here and is going to carry. And Wildcats, single wing, call it what you will, and not much there. No gain as Jonathan Babineau smoked it out.
You know, that's something that the Carolina Panthers throw at you often, and when it looks good, Rob Chudzinski looks great. When it doesn't look good, it leaves you questioning, because they've been so effective running the football with Cam Newton in that zone read. See Atlanta with all 3 timeouts. If they can get off the field here, plenty of time.
And the Panthers only 1 timeout left, so if they fall behind, that could be damaging to them. 2nd and 10. Stewart gets hit. Tell you what, the Panthers have not been able to do anything up the middle against the Falcons running all day long.
You like good safety play. Watch this. William Moore, you're going to see him come into your screen. Shot out of the cannon. Up on Jonathan Stewart. And then here comes the posse. Good defense by the Falcons.
3rd down and 8. Cam Newton, 3rd and 8. And good pressure. Good coverage downfield first, and then good pressure. John Abraham leading the way. And the Falcons defense forces a fourth down punting situation, and Atlanta looking at good field position.
That's what good defenses do. Your coach shows a little confidence in you, kicks the field goal, says, I'm going to trust my defense, and you make your coach look good. Great response by Atlanta.
Brad Nordman, the rookie from Wisconsin, punting to Dominique Franks. He's going to let it bounce. Takes a Carolina hop into the hands of Franks, who goes down quickly at the 29. And we want to welcome those who saw the St. Louis Rams beat the Seattle Seahawks 19-13. Second win of the year for Jeff Fisher's Rams. Here's the story here. Carolina's defense with 6 sacks and an interception. Matt Ryan with 3 touchdown passes, but he's been under siege all day. And a brilliant day for Michael Turner as a runner, as a receiver. Yet, it's the Panthers who are up by 1 at 3:16 left.
Matt Ryan's numbers have been good, but they certainly have disrupted Matt Ryan. Speaking of the Carolina Panthers defensive line, and that's been a Achilles heel of theirs thus far, but they've been great today.
Play action. Ryan on first down. He's going deep. Jones is there, and Julio Jones makes the catch, and they rule no. He did not have both feet in bounds. He had beaten the defender.
Watch the feet here at the end. Ball in, left foot down, right foot out. The toe steps out. Good call by the official, who's right on it. Left foot down, right toe on the chalk. I think that's a good call.
It's a close call, but the official is right there to see part of that foot on the white chalk. 2nd and 10. So Ryan trying to take a shot to Julio Jones on first down.
You gotta love that. You talk about staying aggressive. That's an aggressive play call.
And Ryan gets it away, and it's caught by Michael Turner, avoiding the sack. And once again, this time Alexander, the rookie from Oklahoma, 4th-round pick, coming in on Ryan, who has been sacked 6 times, and that's the most of his career. But he picked up 7 yards, bringing up 3rd and 3.
And these tackles for the Atlanta Falcons got to do a better job. You got to give your quarterback time to throw the football.
3rd down and 3 on the design. Sprint out, nowhere to go, and Ryan is pushed out of bounds by Charles Johnson again. So Charles Johnson with another sack. 7th in the game for the team, and 3.5 for Charles Johnson.
Wow, and Matt Ryan, mistake here. You got to throw the football away, and then you have a 4th and 3. Instead, you got a 4th and 11, and I think all Mike Smith can do is send his punt team out. This is a smart decision. Remember, you have all 3 timeouts left if you're the Falcons. Trust your defense one more time.
Well, the Houston Texans won, so they remain undefeated. The question is, will the Atlanta Falcons remain unbeaten as well? Bosher punting to Captain Munnerlyn. Fair catch. Munnerlyn at the 27. 2:26 remaining in the 4th.
The defense for Carolina has just been awesome today, and it starts up front. Charles Johnson, Frank Alexander, that's been a common sight here today. Charles Johnson's been all over the field. Charles Johnson getting after Matt Ryan. 3.5 sacks now on the day for Charles Johnson. Young man who attended Georgia. He came home and he said, I'm going to play a football game, and that's exactly what he's done.
Sure has. And the Panthers trying to break a 4-game losing streak against these Falcons, who are trying to go to 4-0 for the 3rd time.
Tall order for this Atlanta defense. They've already stopped Carolina one time to get the football back in Matt Ryan's hands. Tall order to ask him to do it once again, but if they want to win, that's exactly what they're going to have to do.
You mentioned that the Falcons have all 3 of their timeouts, and there'll be a stoppage at the 2-minute warning as well. See how Rob Chudzinski plays this.
Yeah, so enough time. But first down virtually ends this game, so you've got to get a 3 and out here if you're the Atlanta Falcons.
5-yard penalty. First and 10. Handoff to Stewart. And the Falcons are forced to call a timeout. That's their first.
First team timeout. Atlanta, 30-second timeout.
Big play on that last drive.
Falcons take a shot to Julio Jones. If he can stay in bounds, this is a touchdown. Left foot down, right foot just on the line. The official all over it. Good call. Julio Jones has to do a better job dragging that right foot. Instead, Carolina's football, second down, trying to run out this clock.
.221 remaining in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 6 for the Panthers on their 36. Cam Newton, 2 touchdown passes, 215 yards, and he's going to carry the ball and get the first down. And Cam Newton, being his own official, signaling first down, gets 10 yards, and a huge one as we wind down to the 2-minute warning.
And that's the predicament Cam Newton puts you in. You're going to go ahead, take that dive. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and run for the first down. Tough to deal with as a defense.
That is a 2-minute warning.
John Abraham crashes. Cam Newton keeps it, makes our own cameraman. First down, Panthers.
85 yards on 8 carries, including a 32-yard run. Newton has protected the ball brilliantly today. 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. Well, last week it was a case of Cam Newton on the sideline and his attitude, which was talked about, and now here he is leading his team out onto the field. 2 minutes to go and a 1-point lead over the favored Falcons.
He's done a tremendous job, protected the football, has seriously impacted this game, got his team ahead.
D'Angelo Williams with the run, and the Falcons will use their second timeout after the 4-yard pickup.
Second team timeout. Atlanta, 30-second timeout.
And for those of you who saw the Vikings beat the Detroit Lions on the road to go to 3-1, welcome to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Dick Stockton along with John Lynch and Jennifer Hale. And a surprise today without question. Carolina's defense, 7 sacks. The most endured by Matt Ryan in his career. He has thrown 3 touchdowns. Michael Turner, big day as a receiver and a runner. But how about the poise and aggressiveness on both sides of the ball by the Panthers?
Carolina's come out, and right now they're beating the Atlanta Falcons. Not the Atlanta Falcons giving them the game. Huge play right here. 1 timeout left for the Atlanta Falcon defense.
2nd down and 6. Panthers have 1 timeout themselves. D'Angelo Williams trying to get the first down, will be a couple of yards shy. And now the Falcons will call their 3rd and final timeout. And right now, for a game break, let's check in with Patrick O'Neill.
Well, Dick, Packers fans voicing their opinion of the call that didn't go their way last Monday. So coming up, second part of our doubleheader on Fox. Most of you will see Aaron Rodgers and the Packers at home at Lambeau Field versus the Saints. And Aaron Rodgers, a welcome sight. The new refs. Dick and John, back to you.
All right, Patrick, everyone is pleased that the officials are back at work.
Especially the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Some of you will see the Redskins and the Buccaneers. 3rd down and 2. Ron Rivera trying to end a Panther 4-game losing streak to the Falcons.
No more timeouts for the Falcons. You got to sell out to stop Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers right now. I take everybody out of the middle of the field. Safeties, put your men down.
And here is Cam Newton. And Newton close to the first down. And a fumble.
And it appears appears that Carolina fell on it, but it may have lost them the first down.
And you can see Cam Newton upset with himself. And it was recovered by the Panthers, but you're right, John, he did not get the first down.
The other thing it does, it stopped the clock momentarily when they sorted out who had the football.
And there it was knocked out.
Ball is out.
Falcons had an opportunity to pounce on it. And a big crowd right in the middle of this field.
Now, inside 2 minutes, that ball will not be moved back, so it's going to be where he fumbled the football. We'll see if that's enough for the first down. A lot to sort out for the replay officials here.
That's Arthur Blank, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons. Mike Pereira joining us from Los Angeles.
Hey, you're in this inside a 2-minute fumble rule, so if the ball is recovered in advance by a teammate of the fumbling player, then it goes back to the spot of the fumble. But it's recovered by a teammate behind the spot of the fumble, then it stays at that recovery spot. I think that's what they're trying to sort out here.
Atlanta, Mike, seems to be indicating it's going to be short of the first down.
We have a fumble forward recovered by number 35. Number 1 recovered it. We'll put the ball back to the spot of the fumble. It'll be 4th down.
So no first down, but the Panthers recover it with 1:41 remaining. So now what does Ron Rivera do?
Well, I think he's got a punt, and you're going to wind this clock. You've got 40 seconds. You take that down. I might even take the delay. So the clock will be down to right at a minute left, and Atlanta has to drive the field. Remember, all they need is a field goal, but out of timeouts.
No timeouts. So that is really critical.
Ron Rivera, instead, to buy some time, asked to, and because we've got a close measurement, asked for the measurement.
And he is short by less than a football. Mike Pereira is with us. Mike?
Yeah, once again, you're looking at that aspect of, he said the ball was fumbled forward, but it was recovered behind the spot. So it really is
under review.
And they're now going to check for the spot in relationship to the first down here is what they're going to do. But it is a fumble forward. It's a fumble backwards because it's not where the fumble, if it comes out loose going forward, it's where it's recovered. And if it's recovered behind the spot of the fumble, then that's actually where it should stay at that recovery spot.
All right, Mike, and we have a booth review in progress, and we'll be back. Back here at the Georgia Dome, and Cam Newton, who is really discussing with himself. He has played a terrific all-round game, and we're talking about ball protection. Not that on that play. The Panthers recovered it, and it's going to be 4th down. And right now in a booth review, they're checking to see the spot of the ball. We have 1:41 remaining on the clock. It'll be 4th down, and the Falcons have no timeouts remaining, but needing just a field goal to pull this one out. Tolbert was the player who recovered for Carolina.
Cam Newton clearly going to fall forward for the first down. A great job by the Falcons knocking that football out. That's going to give them a chance. Going to have no timeouts, but a minute left to drive the field. And remember, all they need, look at this at the end. He's getting that first down. I believe it's William Moore that knocks it out.
Well, what an improbable turn of events we've had in this game when the Falcons, who had scored touchdowns on their first 3 possessions, not only didn't, but the Panthers ended up scoring early, and a tight seesaw game throughout. And the defense has been really the key to what the Panthers have accomplished. And They are 141 away from an upset over Atlanta, but it's a lot of time, even with no timeouts, for a guy like Matt Ryan and his weapon.
It's been an outstanding football game. It really has been. And here comes Walt Coleman with his decision after being under the hood.
The review has determined the spot of the recovery. We will move the ball back to the 45-yard line. It'll be 4th down at the 45.
So they'll need a yard, a full yard. It looked like less before they reviewed it. And now it is a full yard. They have to get to the 44 for the first down.
And it's a 25 seconds. So we'll wind it 25 seconds. We're at 1:40. They're going to wind the clock. I don't believe the Panthers will go for this. I think they're just going to take the delay or take a timeout right. Take the timeout right before the play clock expires.
They have one timeout left. And of course, for Carolina to draw the Falcons offside would also clinch this, but I'm sure Atlanta is aware of that.
You can't do that. Mike Smith, I promise you, has told them that.
Here it is, 4th and 1. Will they run a play? Falcons don't move. And the Carolina Panthers, they'll have a delay of the game penalty called against them. 5 yards.
5-yard penalty.
And they'll take it.
Definitely worth a shot. Why not do that? Going to back you back just 5 yards. Now we wind the clock. You punt the football, and Atlanta will have a shot at this. Mike Smith, I don't know what he's asking his owner. His owner's saying, "You're the coach, coach."
That's. I bought the team, you coach him.
Thank God for Arthur Blank. He had a big hand, I know, in putting an end to this strike. He was one of the owners that were in there at the end negotiating this thing.
So Brad Nortman, rookie from Wisconsin, will be kicking, and Dominique Franks is back at the 10. 1-point Carolina lead, no timeouts left. Franks will let it bounce. Captain Munnerlyn is right there, and do they keep it in play? If they do, it'll be at the 1. And great hustle by the special teams, by the coverage. Of course, can't have a foot on the line if you want to keep it in play. There's Munnerlyn, 41.
It's Polaris that's going to catch it and then throw it back. We'll see if that right knee did indeed hit the...
The ball is dead at the 1-yard line. First down.
Fitchell was right there, John.
That right knee, if it's down, that would be a touchback. Ooh, that is so close. That is so close.
But what great presence of mind for Polaris.
What a tremendous punt by Nortman.
So now they're at the 1. No timeouts left. 59 seconds on the clock. Falcons down by 1. And going deep for Roddy White. And White makes the catch. Roddy White grabs it. Clock is running. No timeouts left. They're at the 40 of Carolina. Now a half a minute remaining.
No timeouts. No timeouts left.
And here is Matt Ryan. And Ryan throws it away.
And what a tremendous play by the Atlanta Falcons. Matt Ryan throws that ball over 60 yards in the air, and Roddy White, who's had a tremendous game. What concentration, just going out there and out-competing Nakamura for the football.
It'll be 2nd down and 10, but the big story is that where the ball is, it's at the 40 with 23 seconds to go, and that kind of was up for grabs, John.
An advantage Roddy White. You got a safety in Roddy White. Advantage Roddy White. Great throw by Matt Ryan.
2nd and 10. Pressure. And an incomplete pass and a flag. Julio Jones with Captain Munnerlyn hooking up.
Pass interference, 41. Defense. Ball placed at the spot on the foul. First down.
And that'll be now at the 35.
So you're looking at a 52-yard field goal right there. Good call. Munnerlyn was there early.
And Mike Smith with his team still with a pulse. If you're wondering, Matt Bryant's career-long field goal is 62 yards when he kicked for the Bucs against the Eagles back in 06. 19 seconds on the clock. First down. Matt Ryan loops it to who else but Gonzalez. He's the money receiver, and he has the catch, stops the clock at the 28. Now with 14 seconds left, and Matt Bryant gets ready.
Nobody you'd want the ball hands in more so than the surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, Tony Gonzalez. This guy keeps getting older, but keeps getting better. What a comeback by the Atlanta Falcons.
And right now, the field goal would be a 46-yard attempt. Here's Ryan. And that pass incomplete. Oh, caught. It was caught by Harry Douglas. Douglas makes the catch at the 23.
And that's just, you got a rookie right corner, and your job right there is keep the ball in bounds. You keep it in bounds, game over. They've told Matt Ryan, only throw it if we know we're going to get out of bounds. That corner, Josh Norman, has got to be outside waiting for him. You've got to know that's coming. Lack of execution by a young player right there.
And a great job by Douglas getting that left foot down, so Matt Bryant will try to win it here with a 40-yard field goal with 10 seconds remaining. And a timeout called by the Panthers. That's their third and final timeout.
Timeout. Carolina.
So the kick was made after the timeout called by the Panthers.
Final team timeout. 30-second timeout.
So Bryant is perfect on the year. He is 8 for 8. And today with field goal kicks of 41 and 33, this will be a 40-yard attempt. And imagine they started this from the 1-yard line.
Well, here it was. Here was the play. Matt Ryan gets back and just throws that football out there as far as he possibly can. Some 60-plus yards in the air, and Roddy White, the great pro, goes up and grabs it. 169 yards on the day for Roddy White, 8 catches, and the biggest one of those was right there.
59-yarder that time, so here again, no timeouts left for either team. Matt Bryant with a 40-yarder. 10 seconds to play. Falcons trying to pull it out and stay undefeated. And Bryant's kick is good.
That's money by Matt Ryan. They try to ice him. He says not so fast, right down the middle. And this is why you just keep fighting in this league. You keep fighting, you keep battling, good things happen. Maybe not the prettiest of victories for the Atlanta Falcons, but it's a victory. And that guy right there, he knows that. You don't count style points, you win football games in this league.
You know, John, that may be their biggest win of the year when you consider that they had to gut it out and win at the end, starting from their 1, needing 3. They had beaten 3 AFC West teams coming into this game. They had their backs to the wall, and they delivered here, and that showed a lot of what their character is about.
And you see Charles Johnson hurting because Carolina fought their tail off today. But you think of the circumstance of this game. If Carolina wins, 1 game back. If they lose this game, which it looks like they're going to 3 games back, that's a big difference. Division games so important, as Mike Smith said, the straightest line to the second season.
Polaris is back deep. And Bosher really puts his leg to this one. And the Panthers, with 5 seconds left, will run a play from the 20. So the Falcons trying to go to 4-0 for the 3rd time in their history. Last time they did was in 04, and they lost the NFC title game after going 11-5 in the regular year. And back in '86, they missed the playoffs and stumbled. But for Matt Bryant, '17th career game-winning drive. For Matt Ryan. Clock still shows 5 seconds.
Mike Smith ran on the field trying to get a timeout. That's one of those NBA timeouts where you see what the offense is going to give you. You call timeout. Look at Mike Smith. Ooh. Well,
we haven't seen
business.
Mike Smith that upset on a sideline. He knows what this kind of a comeback victory would mean for his team that brought in new coordinators, offense and defense. There again is their history of 4-0 starts, and they're 5 seconds away from the third in their history. Cam Newton goes down, and the game is over. John Abraham, the graybeard, gets the sack, and the game is over. And the Atlanta Falcons win 30-28. For John Lynch and Jennifer Hale, Dick Stockton saying so long. Stay tuned for America's Game of the Week after these messages.